Ever heard of pocket change turning into a jackpot? Well, brace yourself because the 1967 no-mint Abraham Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. $3 million. Imagine finding that in your couch cushions. You'd never look at spare change the same way again. So, what makes this penny so special? In 1967, the U.S. Mint didn't use mint marks, which means there are no little letters under the date. No D. No S. Just a plain OL 1967 penny. But here's the kicker, certain rare error versions of this penny are now worth a life-changing amount of money. Let's break it down. If you've got one of these pennies in pristine condition, meaning it looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, you could be holding on to a fortune. Collectors go wild over coins with errors, especially those with double strikes, off-center prints, or bizarre minting mistakes. And this penny? It has some of the rarest and most valuable errors out there. Now, here's where it gets personal. A buddy of mine used to roll his eyes every time I checked my pocket change. One day, he found an old penny at the bottom of his drawer and thought, why not check? Turns out, it was a rare variety of a 1967 penny. He sold it for thousands. And guess who started checking their change after that? Yep, Mr. Eye Roller himself. Right now, coin collectors and numismatists are willing to pay insane amounts for these pennies, with the highest sale hitting $3 million. That's more than some houses. So, before you toss that old jar of coins or ignore the pennies in your car's cup holder, take a second look. Who knows? You could be sitting on a retirement fund in the form of a single-cent. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of small change. Your next grocery store penny might just be your golden ticket. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Now, go check your pennies. You might be richer than you think. Alright, folks, let me ask you a question. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one little penny could be worth a whopping $2.8 million? Yeah, that's right. Not 28 cents. Not $280. But $2.8 million. And guess what? It's the 1968 Lincoln penny. If you have one, you might want to hold on to your socks, because they're about to be blown off. So what makes this particular penny so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a rare mistake at the U.S. Mint. You see, back in 1968, the San Francisco Mint was producing proof coins, those super shiny, mirror-like coins made for collectors. But every now and then, a few of these proof pennies somehow ended up in regular circulation. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. A genuine 1968 proof penny that ended up in circulation is like finding a lost Picasso at a garage sale. They weren't meant to be spent on a pack of gum, but some unlucky soul did just that, and now collectors are willing to pay life-changing money for them. Now, before you go dumping your coin jar onto the table, let me tell you what to look for. First, the S mint mark below the date. This tells you it was made in San Francisco. Second, it has to be a proof coin. How do you know? Flip that bad boy under a light. If it looks shinier than a new car fresh out of the dealership, you might have something special. But wait. Here's where it gets even crazier. Not every 1968 proof penny is worth millions. The one that hit the jackpot had a unique error, double die obverse. That's just a fancy way of saying the details on Lincoln's face, the date, and the words, "In God We Trust," look slightly doubled. If you see that, you might just be looking at your golden ticket. Quick story time: a friend of mine, let's call him Dave, found a 1968 penny in his old coin collection from childhood. He got all excited and thought he was sitting on a fortune. Took it to a coin dealer, and, turns out, it was just a regular proof penny worth about $5. Poor Dave. He went in hoping for a mansion and walked out with enough for a fast food combo meal. Moral of the story: do your homework before quitting your job. Alright, so here's the game plan. Go through your old piggy banks, junk drawers, and anywhere you've been stashing pennies. If you find a 1968 S-proof penny, check for that double die error. If you think you hit the jackpot, get it authenticated by a professional. Who knows? You could be holding on to a tiny piece of copper worth more than a luxury sports car. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasure in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more tips on coins that could make you rich, and you don't want to miss it. Now go check your coins, and let me know in the comments if you find anything good. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a penny, and realizing it's worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your entire retirement fund. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up, because today, we're talking about the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a jaw-dropping value of $2.5 million. That's right. A single penny that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. So, before you toss that change jar aside or feed the parking meter, stick around, because you might just have one of these rare gems hiding in plain sight. And if you do, well, let's just say, that trip to the grocery store just got a whole lot more interesting. First things first, what makes this coin so valuable? The 1985 Lincoln penny is usually found with a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if you stumble upon one with no mint mark, congratulations, my friend, you just found a ticket to financial freedom. Now, you might be wondering, why does missing a tiny little letter make this coin worth millions? It all boils down to a minting error. Somewhere in the depths of the US Mint, a batch of these pennies was struck without the identifying mark, making them incredibly rare. Collectors go absolutely nuts for these kinds of errors because, in the world of coin collecting, the rarer the mistake, the higher the payday. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Mike, was sorting through his old coin collection, hoping to find something cool. He almost tossed a 1985 penny into a Coinstar machine but stopped because something looked off. Turns out, it was missing the mint mark. He did some digging, took it to a coin expert, and boom, found out he was sitting on a 7-figure coin. Now, before you ask, no, he didn't retire instantly. He had to go through grading, authentication, and auction processes. But let's just say he's not worried about gas prices anymore. So, how do you check if you have one of these golden, copper tickets? Simple, grab a magnifying glass, inspect your 1985 penny, and if there's no mint mark under the date, get it professionally graded immediately. Condition is everything. A circulated version might still fetch thousands, but a mint condition penny? That's where the millions come in. Let's talk numbers. The most expensive 1985 no-mint mark penny sold at auction for a whopping $2.5 million. Even lower-grade versions sell for tens of thousands. That's not just pocket change, that's life-changing money. So, next time you find a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. Pick it up, check that date, and who knows? You might just have the next $1 million penny in your hands. Now, if you found this video helpful and you love the idea of turning spare change into big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post videos just like this, breaking down the wild world of rare coins and how you can cash in on them. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Who knows, maybe someone watching has one of these pennies right now. Until next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and remember, one penny could change your life. Literally. You might want to check your pockets right now, because if you have a 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And I mean a big fortune. We're talking $2.3 million for a single penny. Yeah, you heard that right, one tiny copper coin could make you a millionaire. Crazy, right? Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let's break down why this little penny is worth more than most people's houses and how you can cash in if you find one. Oh, And stick around till the end because I'll share a personal story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, it's a painful memory. So, what's the deal with this 1988 no mint mark penny? Well, most pennies have a tiny letter under the date that tells you where they were minted. A D means Denver, an S means San Francisco, and no mint mark usually means Philadelphia. But here's where it gets interesting. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck without a mint mark when they weren't supposed to be. Oops, these rare errors make them incredibly valuable. Think of it like finding a misprinted baseball card or a rare misstamped dollar bill. Collectors go nuts over these things, and when demand is high, prices skyrocket. Now, the million-dollar question: how do you know if you have one? Grab a magnifying glass, or your phone camera if you're fancy, and check your 1988 pennies. If there's no little letter under the date, congratulations, you might have a winner. But here's the kicker: it's not just about the missing mint mark. The condition of the coin matters too. The better shape it's in, the more it's worth. A flawless, uncirculated penny could be worth millions, while a worn-down one might still get you a nice chunk of change but not quite enough to retire on a beach somewhere. And now, let me share a little personal experience. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my change jar and thought, just another penny. I almost tossed it back into circulation. But something told me to double-check. Turns out, it wasn't a 1988 no mint mark, but it was a different rare penny worth $200. Not exactly millions, but hey, free money is free money. Moral of the story: always check your coins. So, what do you think? Are you running to check your pocket change yet? Because you should be. A single penny could change your life, literally. If you find one, get it appraised immediately, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person cashing in big. If you love learning about rare coins and how to turn pocket change into big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll keep bringing you tips on coins worth serious money and how to find them. And hey, drop a comment below: have you ever found a rare coin before? I'd love to hear your story. Ever checked your spare change and thought, meh, just a bunch of pennies? Well, hold on to your couch cushions because one of those little copper coins might just be worth $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 2008 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny has been making waves, selling for a jaw-dropping $1 million. Imagine buying a soda with a penny and getting a mansion in return. Today, we're diving into what makes this penny so special, how you can spot one, and what to do if you find one in your pocket. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny like it's a lottery ticket. Alright, so first off, why is this penny so valuable? Let's break it down. In 2008, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies, but most had mint marks from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But then, out of nowhere, some coins were struck without a mint mark. Cue the dramatic music. So what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Well, think of it like a typo on a rare baseball card. The mistake makes it special, and collectors go crazy for these oddities. The 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny is like the unicorn of pennies, super rare and super valuable. Now, let's talk numbers. A regular 2008 penny is worth, well, 1 cent. But one of these no mint mark errors. It recently sold at auction for $1 million. That's 100 million times its face value. If only my bank account could multiply like that. So, how do you spot one? It's simple. Grab a magnifying glass, or, if you're like me and keep losing those, just squint really hard. Flip over your penny and look under the year. If there's no little letter, P, D, or S, you might be holding on to a fortune. But don't go quitting your job just yet. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC, to confirm it's the real deal. Speaking of checking spare change, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, digging through an old jar of pennies. The lady selling them joked, "Maybe there's a rare one in there." I laughed, paid my dollar for the jar, and went home. That night, I started checking them, and boom, I found a 1955 double-die penny worth over $1,000. Moral of the story: never underestimate Grandma's old coin JAR.SO. If you find one of these 2008 no-mint mark pennies, what should you do? First, celebrate, maybe not by quitting your job, but at least treat yourself to a fancy coffee. Then, get it graded and find an auction house or reputable collector willing to buy it. Remember, patience is key. The right buyer can make all the difference in getting top dollar for your treasure. Alright, time to wrap this up. Who knew a tiny penny could be worth $1 million? If you've got a piggy bank, it's time to crack it open. If you have a junk drawer full of loose change, start digging. And if you find one of these rare coins, make sure to get it checked out. You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're always bringing you the latest on hidden treasures in your pocket change. And hey, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's talk treasure hunting. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. Alright, coin lovers, imagine this: you're digging through some old change, maybe under the couch cushions, and bam! You find a 1961 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just another penny. Well, what if I told you that one of these bad boys sold for a jaw-dropping $3 million? Yep, you heard that right. $3 million. Now, before you go flipping every penny in sight, let's break it down. Why is this coin worth a fortune? Could you have one hiding in your collection? And how do you actually cash in if you do? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be rich. So, let's talk about what makes this little copper coin so insanely valuable. The 1961 penny was minted in Denver, and most of them, they're worth, well, a penny. But a tiny number were struck with a major error or rare feature that makes collectors go wild. Now, before I reveal the secret, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, was obsessed with coin collecting. His wife thought he was nuts, always squinting at pennies with a magnifying glass like Sherlock Holmes. One day, he comes running into our group chat like he just won the lottery. Turns out, he found a 1961 penny with a rare double-die error. Long story short, he sold it for 5 figures. Not 3 million, but still, not bad for something he got as change from a gas station coffee. So what's the deal with this coin? The most valuable 1961 penny has either a double-die error, a rare over-mint mark, or an off-metal strike. That's what sets it apart. And the one that sold for $3 million? It's rumored to be a one-of-a-kind off-metal strike on a silver planchet, making it essentially a mistake that collectors go crazy for. Now, let's be real. Not every 1961 penny is gonna make you a millionaire. But even a standard one in pristine condition, what collectors call MS-67 or higher, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, it's always worth checking. So, what's the takeaway? If you've got old pennies lying around, don't just spend them, inspect them. You never know if you're sitting on a hidden fortune. And if you're serious about making money from rare coins, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm always dropping tips on coins worth serious cash, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. Now, go check your pennies, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next lucky collector to cash in big. Treasure seekers, and anyone who's ever picked up a penny and thought, could this be my golden ticket? Well, buckle up, because today, we're talking about a 1979 Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $2.80 million. Yep, you heard that right. A single cent, literally one little copper coin, could change your life. Now, before you start emptying your piggy bank all over the floor, stick around, because I'm about to tell you exactly why this tiny piece of metal is worth more than a luxury sports car and how you can check if you've got one hiding in your pocket change. Alright, let's get straight into it. The 1979 D penny isn't just your run-of-the-mill loose change. Most 1979 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. But a rare few? They're like unicorns in the coin world. What makes them so special? It all comes down to errors. Coin collectors love mint errors. They're like Easter eggs in a video game, except instead of bragging rights, they come with a fat paycheck. One of the most valuable versions of the 1979 D penny has a dramatic double die error. Imagine stamping a coin, then accidentally shifting it slightly and stamping it again. Boom, double the trouble, double the value. But that's not the only thing driving up the price. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong metal planchet. Instead of being made from the standard copper-zinc blend, a few were mistakenly struck on a pure copper planchet from an earlier time. That mix-up made them ultra-rare and collectors go absolutely bananas over them. Now, the real question is, how do you know if you've got one of these money-making beauties? First, grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, and the date. If you see any doubling, you might be onto something huge. Second, weigh the coin. A normal 1979 D penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is closer to 3.1 grams, congratulations, my friend. You might be holding a fortune in your fingers, and if you do find one, don't just run to the nearest coin shop. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. That official stamp of approval could be the difference between a few bucks and life-changing money. Speaking of life-changing, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found a jar of old pennies in my grandma's attic. I thought, hey, maybe I'll get lucky. I spent hours going through each one, my heart racing every time I saw a coin from the 70s. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a $2.8 million penny, but I did find a 1958 wheat penny worth over $50. Not exactly retire on an island money, but hey, that was the best lunch I ever bought with a single penny. So, here's the deal. That 1979 D Lincoln penny? It's out there, waiting for someone to find it. Maybe it's in your couch cushions, maybe it's hiding in an old jar, or maybe, just maybe, it's been sitting in your pocket this whole time, just waiting for you to recognize its true value. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more money-making coin secrets coming your way, and you don't want to miss them. Now go check your pennies, and I'll see you in the next one. Buckle up, because today we're talking about a tiny copper penny that could make you a millionaire. Imagine digging through your old change and finding a 1982 Lincoln penny with NO mint mark, and, boom, it's worth $2.5 million. Yeah, that's not a typo. $2.5 million. Who knew a single penny could change your life? Today, I'll tell you exactly what to look for, why this coin is so valuable, and how you might just have a fortune hiding in your couch cushions. First, let's get into the basics. In 1982, the US Mint was making some changes, literally. They were transitioning from solid copper pennies to zinc ones with a thin copper coating. That year, they also used different fonts and sizes for the date, which is important when identifying valuable coins. And most importantly, they accidentally struck some pennies in Philadelphia without a mint mark. Normally, Philly pennies from that time have a small P on them, but a few slipped through the cracks. And those? Jackpot. Now, before you go breaking open every piggy bank in sight, let's talk about the features that make this penny so valuable. You're looking for a 1982 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, but that's not all. The real money makers are the ones struck on solid copper planchets instead of zinc. Here's how you tell the difference. Grab a scale. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc one is only 2.5 grams. If you find a no mint mark penny from 1982 that weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations, you might be holding your retirement plan. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, digging through a box of random coins. You know the ones: old buttons, a rusty key, a Canadian dime that somehow ended up there. And boom, I spotted a 1982 penny that looked interesting. I pulled out my pocket scale, yes, I carry one, don't judge, and it read 3.11 grams. My heart started racing. Could this be it? Could I finally be holding a piece of history worth millions? Turns out, it was just a normal copper penny. But hey, for a moment, I saw my future as a millionaire flash before my eyes. Moral of the story: always check your pennies, because one day, you might just get lucky. Now, let's talk numbers. A confirmed 1982 no-mint mark copper penny in pristine condition recently sold for, you guessed it, $2.5 million. Even ones that aren't in perfect shape can still fetch thousands. This is why it's worth taking the time to check your spare change. You never know when a penny could turn into a payday. So, here's your mission: go dig through those old jars, check your drawers, and raid your grandma's coin stash, with permission, of course. If you find a 1982 penny with no mint mark and it weighs 3.11 grams, get it checked out by a coin grading service. And if you do hit the jackpot, just remember who told you about it. You're digging through some old change, maybe in your car's cup holder, maybe in that old jar collecting dust on your dresser, and bam, you find a 1988 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Wrong. Because if that little copper beauty is missing a mint mark, you might just be holding onto a life-changing $2.3 million coin. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that's worth more than a mansion. Let's talk about how to spot one, why it's worth so much, and whether you could be the next lucky finder. So first things first, what's the deal with this 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Normally, coins have a little letter under the date, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But some pennies from 1988 were struck in Philadelphia and accidentally left without a mint mark. The government didn't catch it, and now collectors are losing their minds over these rare little mistakes. Now, why is it worth a jaw-dropping $2.3 million? Well, coin collectors, also known as numismatists, love rare errors. And since only a handful of these mint-markless 1988 pennies exist, their value skyrockets. It's like owning a Picasso that was painted with the wrong brush, flawed but priceless. So how do you know if you've got one? Grab a magnifying glass, hold that penny up to the light, and check below the year. If there's no tiny letter, congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. But wait. Before you quit your job and book a first-class flight to the Bahamas, get it professionally authenticated. There are a lot of fakes out there, and coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm if you've struck gold, or in this case, copper. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I found one. I was at my grandma's house, helping her roll up some old coins. I spot this 1988 penny with no visible mint mark. My heart's racing, my hands are shaking, I'm already imagining my new beach house. Then I take a closer look, and it's just a regular penny with some dirt covering the mark. Lesson learned: always clean your coins before freaking out. Alright, so here's the game plan. If you have old pennies lying around, start checking them. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you do find a 1988 no mint mark penny, send me a postcard from your private island. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. You don't want to miss out. Who knows? Your next lucky find might be in your pocket right now. See you in the next video. You ever have that one moment where you're digging through your pocket change, hoping for a miracle? Maybe just enough to grab a coffee, but instead, you find a fortune? Well, let me tell you, today's story is exactly that, except instead of a coffee, someone got a $2 million payday from a single penny. Yeah, you heard that right. A 2005 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's now worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills. And before you say, yeah right, another coin myth, stick around, because I'll explain exactly why this penny is worth millions, how to check if you have one, and how you could be sitting on life-changing money without even knowing it. Oh, and I've got a wild personal story about finding rare coins in the weirdest places, so you don't want to miss that. Alright, let's break this down. The 2005 Lincoln penny was a super common coin, minted by the millions. So what makes one of them worth a literal fortune? It's all about errors and rarity. The jackpot coin we're talking about is a 2005 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the US Mint messed up big time, and this penny was created with a metal composition that wasn't meant for it. This isn't just a small mistake like forgetting to take the trash out. This is like accidentally printing a $100 bill on Monopoly money and letting it slip into circulation. Now, normally, 2005 pennies have a copper-plated zinc composition. But this rare error coin, it was struck on a foreign planchet, which means it has the wrong metal, wrong weight, and a completely different feel when you hold it. And coin collectors go crazy for this kind of mistake. So, how do you know if you have one? Check for the no mint mark. Regular 2005 pennies from Philadelphia won't have a mint mark, but don't get too excited yet. We need more than that. Weigh it. A normal penny should weigh 2.5 grams, but this rare one will be lighter or heavier, depending on the foreign planchet it was struck on. Sound test. Drop a regular penny on a table and listen to the sound. Now, drop your suspect penny. If it has a slightly different ring to it, you might have something special. Get it professionally graded. If you really think you have a winner, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Trust me, it's worth it, because the last one of these sold for $2 million at auction. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just browsing, when I saw an old coffee can full of pennies. The seller goes, "Take 'em all for $5. Now, most people would have walked away. But me? Nah. I took that can home, spilled the coins out on my table, and started looking. And boom, I found a rare wheat penny worth $500 just sitting in that pile. That moment changed how I looked at coins forever. Because if a $500 penny was chilling in a random flea market can, imagine what's hiding in your piggy bank, junk drawer, or couch cushions. So, here's the deal. This 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just some urban legend. It's real, it's out there, and someone, maybe even you, could be holding on to one without even knowing it. Check your change. Check your old piggy banks. Heck, check that weird jar of pennies your grandma has been hoarding since 1962. Because one lucky find could turn pocket change into life-changing money. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in everyday coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more secrets on how to spot valuable coins, where to sell them, and how to make money from what most people ignore. Now, go check your pennies. Your $1 million payday might be closer than you think.